Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Larry Sand.
Okay. It is great to be here. Real people, real signs, real grass. Too bad Mrs. Pelosi couldn't see this. She wouldn't believe it. I know that there is not much accountability in education, that there's a lot of waste, sort of typical of what the government does. But today I'm going to talk to you about something that you perhaps have not thought about, and the fact that you, the taxpayer, we, the taxpayers, support the teachers' unions. Very simply, we pay taxes, taxes go to teachers. The unions take that money forcibly in this state. Think of it in terms of pockets. The money goes from your pocket to the teacher's pocket and right out of the teacher's pocket into the union's pocket. Anybody know what we pay teachers in California average? Ballpark? 55? 65. Very good. That's just about it. $65,000 a year, not bad. Highest in the country, in fact. Anybody know what teacher union dues are in California? John, you got it? $1,000? Bingo! That meant, oh, that's cheating. $1,000 a year. Some of that money stays local. Some of it goes to the NEA. Most of it goes to the California Teachers Association. Over $600 from each teacher goes to CTA. Do a little math. In 2007, teachers, taxpayers forked over $200 million to the California Teachers Association. $200 million. How do they spend that $200 million? Well, obviously some goes to the usual places, maintenance, office space, whatever, but much goes to political spending. Okay, what kind of political spending? I'm just going to read a few. CTA supported SB 777 last year. What did that do? It introduced sexual themes into schools where none existed before. The most egregious of these was the fact that if a boy thinks he's a girl, he can use the girls' room. So help me. Now, when I was a kid, I used to think about how I could get into the girls' bathroom, but I never thought that this would become law. CTA supported the anti-Prop 8 people to the tune of $1.25 million. Prop 8 kept marriage between a man and a woman. CTA didn't like that. Spent $1.25 million. Obviously, Prop 8 prevailed. CTA supported SB 1322 in an attempt to get communists back in the classroom. I'm not making this up. It made it all the way to Arnold's desk. Arnold vetoed it. He does things right occasionally. SB 1105. This was on the ballot, I think it was just last November, which would keep sex offenders out of the classroom automatically, no appeals. CTA did not like that. They supported the anti-forces, but SB 1105 passed easily. Prop 1A and 1B, I know everybody remembers those from this past May. Try to raise your taxes. 2/3 of the people said no. CTA spent millions trying to pass 1A and 1B. Think about it. CTA takes your tax money and tries to push for something that raises your taxes. Something is wrong. In 2005, they spent tens of millions to defeat Arnold's props. The two that had to do with education were Prop 74 and 75. Perhaps you remember 74 would have raised teacher tenure in the state from 2 years to 5 years. I'm a former teacher. I don't know why teachers need tenure any more than anybody else. Doctors, lawyers, bricklayers don't have tenure. Why do teachers have tenure? I don't get it. Now, that Prop 74 would have increased from 2 years to 5 years. I supported that. Better none, but better 5 than 2. CTA, as I said, gave tens of millions to defeat that. They did defeat that. Most of that money went to Prop 75. I should say fighting Prop 75. Prop 75 was a so-called paycheck protection initiative. That would have made it so that teachers had to opt in for political spending. Not the way it was then and not the way it still is, because Prop 75 went down. The way it is now, the way it is now, teachers have to opt out. They automatically take your money. You have to go through hoops to get some of your tax money back. Some of your dues money back, excuse me. As we speak, and if Steve Knight is here, he probably knows something about SB 810, trying to establish a single-payer health plan in California. Not only is CTA behind that, they co-sponsored it. Watch that one, it's still going on. Acorn. No. The good news is that CTA, to the best of my knowledge, has given no money to Acorn. However, its parent organization, the National Education Association, has. The NEA has admitted giving them $400,000 between 2002 and 2008. $400,000 to Acorn. Not an anomaly. Who else does NEA give your tax dollars to? You're supporting them also. I'll just mention a few you might know of. National Council of La Raza, Rainbow Push, Gay Lesbian Straight Education Network, People for the American Way, SEIU. It's a who's who of the American left. I could spend an hour just mentioning names of groups that they give money to, none of which have anything to do with education. Oh, the union socks it to you in one other way. The union does not collect its own dues. School districts do. We support the school districts. Taxes support school districts. Union dues are removed from teachers' paychecks just as state and local taxes are. So in that sense, school districts are the bagman for the union. The union does not even collect its own dues. There is actually some good news. You heard it here first. There will be some form of paycheck protection on the ballot if we get the signatures in 2010. Watch for this, support it. There are many other things you can do. I'm not going to go into all these here. Please, and this goes for everybody, this is not a Republican, Democrat, liberal, or conservative issue. This is a rights issue for all of us. All of us need to be concerned with teachers' union. If you care about education, you need to worry about the CTA. Please go to my organization's website, c10home.org, that's ctenhome.org, and hit the Act Now tab. Many ways that you can get busy, get involved. Tea parties are perfect. Start talking to your neighbors about this. We have a table over there with information. One of our board members is there. Please stop by the table, pick up some stuff, read it, and get involved. In closing, I would just like to quote from myself. I wrote an article last year called Our Teachers Union's Anti-American, and I was very grateful that Front Page Magazine published it. I just want to read you the last paragraph of that article. It says, hence, we have a despotic union that forcibly takes money from teachers and spends it on an agenda that runs counter to the values of many of them, as well as those of the American mainstream. I strongly suspect that if Thomas Jefferson were alive today, he'd be firing off impassioned emails with the Declaration of Independence attached in an attempt to inspire and energize teachers and all fair-minded Americans. There is a sinister oppressor in our midst, and the consent of the governed is nowhere to be found. Thank you.
Before you leave, I think we should say something about these people looking to see what history is being taught to these kids, because it's revisionist history.
Thank you, Larry. Wonderful message. Thank you. The children are the future. Remember that when you vote, get informed, and always make sure that your family and your friends are informed and inform their friends.